Hi everybody! So we are down here at the White House, just a little bit further down the road from my house. And today we have a very special treat. Madeline and Ethan are going to be explaining to everybody how to get up on the hay bales and then how to jump and run on the hay bales, and also a few rules that go along with it. So just as a reminder, the hay bales, these are bales of hay that we have either bought from somebody else that's baled it up from the grass that's out in the field, or it's hay that that somebody has baled for us on our property. These bales of hay are used for feeding the cows and horses and donkeys and everything else out in the field whenever the grass is getting a little thin or during the winter time. But whenever it's not being fed out in the hay, it gets stored in rows down here by the farm. So it can kind of become a fun little tool. So these hay bales are a little bit over 5 feet tall. Some of these hay bales have been around for probably about a year or so. And I looked out the window and I saw Dad was moving them all around. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with it. So you'll see the tractor in the background and probably hear it. Like I said, I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's moving it and doing something. But Madeline and Ethan are going to be explaining to you what to do with hay bale jumping. All right, go ahead.
So first I'm going to talk about a couple of rules for whenever you're on the hay bales. So first of all, they are huge. So you've got to be careful around the edges whenever you're running, because you don't want to misstep, because the edges can become very loose and you don't want to fall off. Also make sure that you either have an adult with you or that you have somebody else and a phone with you. If you don't have an adult with you, then you need to make sure that if somebody gets hurt, you call an adult right away, because if it's really bad, you might need to go to the emergency room. So every time that I come up here with my brother, I have to carry my phone and make sure that I'm always keeping an eye on
Hey,
it.
Daddy says to talk louder.
Really?
Yep.
I'll try.
Talk louder.
So be careful around the edges. They're very big, very dangerous, and
Well, not that dangerous, or we wouldn't let you do it.
and always make sure you have an adult with you, another person, and a phone with you. So also make sure you're not going too fast, because sometimes you might not be able to stop yourselves. Be careful around between the rows of hay bales, and I'll let Ethan talk now.
And should you have the dogs down here with you?
No.
Why?
If they get too riled up, well, some of our dogs can actually jump onto the hay bales, which me and my brother think is very fun, but my mom doesn't. And
Why don't I think it's a good idea?
because if they get too hyper, they can push you off and you can get very hurt.
Yes. All right, so Ethan, you gonna show us how to get up on the hay bale? All right, come on down. All right.
So how you get up, talk loud, is you see these two hay bales. You need to have it close, and then you can reach your arms out and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can grab on and push, and then put your legs up, and then you can do it like this, or like this to get up.
Uh-huh.
And so how you get down is sometimes if it's like a large one, like this one, and you're scared to go down, always try and find a shorter one. So then
A shorter one, like height-wise, a shorter
Yeah.
one? Okay.
and then you can slide down like this, and there you go.
Okay, so what else are you showing us today?
So I'm also going to show you how to jump safely and which bales you should and shouldn't get up on.
Okay,
Okay.
should I be up there by you, or should I be down here to film?
I would recommend doing that.
Okay, so
I could take the phone.
okay, somebody take the phone for me.
Oh jeez.
Oh, Madeline, go that way.
I'm trying. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do this.
Why don't you just jump across?
Okay.
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 All right. So now we're all up here.
So, how you jump up is
Really loud.
yeah, I'm trying. jump from. It all depends on your height, and so you get kind of close to the edge, but not too close where you'll slide down. And you just got to jump like you mean it. Like if you're on a trampoline and you're starting to get like all powered up, you just got to jump. And whenever you land, you got to make sure that you don't use too much power where you'll slide up. I did that the other day. And it's not always very fun in case you have a big gap like that one.
Okay.
And whenever you are deciding which one you should jump from, between the spaces there could be like there's lots of grass, and sometimes you don't ever know what's down there. So I always recommend looking out and seeing where the top of the hay bale is, like right here, right where the center is, where it might be the highest. And on this one, it's kind of shaped odd, so if you don't jump far enough, then you could slide right down. So that's why you got to make sure if you fall, you got to use your hands and just climb back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had a thought. So, when should you not be jumping on the hay bales? Like, what kind of weather?
Definitely not when it's raining or snowing.
Why should you not jump on the hay bales when they're wet?
And then you can slip and then hit your head on here and get your head stuck on here.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. Well, and we learned, if people have been watching these videos before, they learned that the netting that's on here helps keep the water out of the hay bales, which means that it kind of wicks the water off of it, and so it becomes slippery. So we don't jump on it when it's wet or raining, right? Okay, so you want to show maybe how to run up and down?
Okay, so as you can see, as you look down the line, if you get down low here, I can do it. It's kind of hard to show. You can see that there are lots of different hay bales going down the lane. And the tops, they're not all the same exact height, so there's some that will dip down, and there are some that will be rise up. And so you always want to be careful of those so that you don't trip and fall. And then also, when you sit, you want to make sure that you see it before you run over it, because you could seriously injure your ankles if you just step down, and if you keep running, then you can get very hurt. So basically, I just imagine it as every time I'm running, I just imagine jumping over between where they are, and it just makes it more fun.
So you kind of shoot for jumping it towards the middle of the hay bale and not the edge?
You don't want to be at the side because your feet might not be completely flat, and they could slide right off.
Okay. Ethan, what do you remember like when you're jumping between the rows? Like when you're going from one row to another, where do you jump when you do that? Hey, look over here so we can hear you.
You could try and jump over at the flat spot.
Uh-huh.
You see, this part's flat, and if you can see, if you put your leg right here, you might slip down.
Yeah.
So always put your leg right here, and then you can boost your leg up.
So is it easier to jump between the rows whenever they're closer together or farther away?
Closer, because look, I can jump and it'll be way safer, but if I jump here from here, it's hard and I can slip down.
Okay, so you want to show us how you can run back and forth?
Get balance right.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And you flat spot like here, always slow down.
Yeah.
It then start running, so then you can get your balance back on. So whenever I was up there, I hit a flat here and I almost flipped over.
Uh-huh.
And that could have been bad, and then I could have rolled over here and landed in that pile.
Okay, so is there anything else that people need to know about jumping hay bales?
Some fun games you can do. We always like playing tag. Sometimes we enjoy kind of like a little hide and seek tag. Basically where we hide is like between the rows here. And if they're close enough, we drop down here and just become as small as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just wait for them to go by or come down the road and see us. And then we have to like get up as fast as possible.
Okay.
It's something we did when we were little. Ethan probably doesn't remember it. We actually used to play like there were like alien games.
Yeah.
And like kind of like a video game.
Uh-huh.
And you'd have to run away from the aliens.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a fun game. So yeah.
So Ethan, is there anything else that people need to know about jumping hay bales? Oh, we're... Hang on, buddy. I'm not sure why we're going all the way down here. Oh, yeah, when the rows change. Okay, hang on, look over here. What?
This bar
Uh-huh.
will always go to closest one.
So if you're jumping again from like row to row, you need to go to ones that are closer? Okay.
Just jumping row to row, and then go to another one to just. And I always like to make sure that it's as close to the edge without feeling like I'm gonna fall out and my foot's gonna come out from under me.
Uh-huh.
So I always like keep it like a few, like you can see on the lining there's rows, and I always like to keep my foot about 5 lines back,
Okay.
and then jump across. I jump.
Oh.
On the branch,
Yeah, so stay away from the trees.
and over on the other side, over on the other side of the yard where other hay bales are, there's actually a big tree with thorns. So we always have to make sure, stay at least one hay bale away from it.
Yeah, and your grandpa does a pretty good job of keeping the hay bales kind of away from the fence, but you shouldn't be by the fences, right?
Yeah,
Hey, come this way because we can't hear you over the tractor. Oh, yeah, we got to scooch down a little bit. That's a little bit wide. I think we've determined what Dad's doing with the hay bales. He's just moving them. So he had them over here, and he's just parking them over here. I'm sure there's some reason for it, but I don't know what it is. All right, so what, Ethan?
I forgot.
Oh, why should we not be by a fence?
Oh, because if you lose balance, like, if I'm sitting
Hey, come here.
there's a fence right here,
Yes.
and if I slip, I can hurt myself before I can grab it on.
Uh-huh.
And then if you get loose enough, you might fall down and hurt yourself.
Very good.
Also make sure to stay away from any sticks on the hay bales because sometimes if they're big and they're like straight enough that they could roll and you could just roll and fall back and hurt your back or it can hurt.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, what do you tell people for watching today?
Thank you for watching.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed learning about how to jump hay bales safely and how to run back and forth safely on the hay bales. This is something that we grew up doing, and probably many people that grew up around farms did as they were growing up, and it's something that Madeline and Ethan enjoy. And you know, when you're out on the farm, there's not always a lot of entertainment, especially when I was growing up and we only had like 3 channels on the TV. So you got to find ways to make your own fun. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.